Okay. uh, Hi, welcome to my channel, Mrs. Homemaker's channel. Today, I am going to make Okinawan style yakisoba. This is something special to me, this dish, be- because first off, it is my favorite. And I remember when I was dating my first husband, the deceased husband, um, we used to take a drive north. And there used to be a restaurant along the seaside where you had a great view of the ocean. And we would stop there every time we go up there. And most of the time we would order yakisoba or fried rice. But I like yakisoba. And this is how they make theirs. And my mom makes it almost the same way. So it brings back fond memories. And I just thought I would share that with you. It's very simple and easy to make. This is another no recipe. You just mix. First, let me just show you the ingredients. Of course, yakisoba means stir-fried noodles. Soba is noodle. And here I have some, I forget what it was. It's um, it's some Chinese noodle. I threw the package away. I made it yesterday for something. But I think it was ramen. No, lo mein, Chinese lo mein. But if you can't get them, the best substitute for that is fettuccine. In fact, I often use fettuccine. I don't buy the Chinese noodle because if you see, they look like this. Just has a sauce. I use my hand. See how it's wide, and this is the Okinawan soba that I remember. They used to always have fresh homemade soba. The only thing different is that for some reason the yakisoba that I remember, this is going back in the 70s, was tinted like it had a yellowish tint and it was much greasier than this. But that's the only difference. The texture and everything is pretty similar to a fettuccine. It has a little chewiness that so a lot of people use ramen noodles, but it to me that's not my yakisoba. Okinawan style from the 70s. Things have changed now. They're all going towards the prepackaged yakisoba. Um, yeah, back then it was they just somebody makes them and they deliver to our local stores, and you could get them for like 25 cents for a bag. I'd say about this size or maybe bigger than this. I think it was larger than this for 25 cents. That was back in the 70s. So it was even back then, it was a very economical, cheap dish to make and delicious. So let's get started before I start wandering off. So we have noodles. Like I said, you can use fettuccine noodles. I would because it's a lot cheaper than buying Asian noodles. And it tastes the same, almost the same, especially for this dish. And cabbage and green peppers, red pepper, onions, and carrots. You can actually use almost any vegetable that you like, you know. But to be yakisoba, I think it's most places use cabbage for sure, and some kind of onions, and some Japanese yakisoba uses mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms. So there's so many varieties. But yeah, I like the cabbage, onions, and peppers. To me, those three are must have to make my yakisoba. But other than that, you can add whatever vegetable you want. Maybe cauliflower would be nice, and I think mushroom would be nice. It doesn't have to be shiitake. It can be any mushroom that you have. So plus you can that is a vegetarian one. You can make chicken, which I'm gonna make for you. Uh, you can just slice the chicken thin because it cooks faster. Or you can do what I do. I use my leftover chicken. You know me, I like to use leftovers. So, and you will need yakisoba sauce. You can buy these in some places. I haven't seen it here, but that's not a problem because you can make your own. I know in Japan you can buy them in a bottle or a packet, but all it is sugar and soy sauce. 1 part sugar, 1 part soy sauce. In my case, I don't like to use white sugar. I'm trying to cut back on white sugar. So I used molasses because I think that it it gives a more richer uh, flavor. Plus, it's better for you than white sugar. So so instead of one one just let's just say 1 teaspoon this and 1 teaspoon molasses and the double amount of ketchup, which is that would be 2 teaspoons then, and teaspoon of French. It doesn't have to be French's. Uh, Worcestershire sauce and 2 teaspoons of oyster. I forget what I said, but so it's and if you're going to make less, if it's 1 teaspoon of soy sauce and 1 teaspoon of molasses, you will make ketchup, Worcestershire, and oyster sauce double that amount. If this is 2, then 4, 4, 4. If this is 1, then you make 2, 2, 2. Do you know what I'm saying? So these 3 ingredients, you double the amount of this soy sauce. Soy sauce and sugar is the same amount. You start up. That's how we cook. You know, we don't have recipes, but I mean, you don't have to double ketchup. If you just want to put a little bit, you can. It's you're the cook. You make your own rules. I'm just showing what goes in the sauce and the ingredients for yakisoba. Then you can take it from there and make it your own. You know me, that's my style of cooking. No stress, but delicious. So let's get started. I'm going to be using wok. You can use fry pans. You can use whatever pan you want. I see my cat there. Those of you who are returning, coming back to my channel, you know I use water to control my cats. It's just plain water, and it won't hurt them. Hoti, get back there. Do not come in this area. Yes. He's like, I'm just getting down. You see this? Next time you come up, I'm going to spritz. Yes, I do have those of you returning know that I have a lot of cats. And for those of you who are new to my channel, you will quickly find out I have a lot of cats. And that's why I am constantly looking around to make sure everything is just fine. so, so we have the sauce made. and I'm heating the wok. What I like to do, I like to add a little bit of chicken stock or broth. If you don't have that, you can use bouillon cubes to make stock. Any kind of liquid, just to get just to add a little steam. Then a little bit of oil. Not even a teaspoon, maybe a quarter, just a little bit. Then you want to cook the vegetables first. Whichever takes the longest, which is, in this case, I think the carrots and the onions will go first. I should have had the wok heated. So, stir fry this. I would probably make it for about 2 minutes or so until it gets not mushy, but just a little tender. Then you can add, I'm not going to wait, I'm just going to go ahead and add my peppers. I like to add the cabbage last because they don't really take that long. You don't really have to add the broth right now. I just do it because I don't like to add too much oil. And I like it a little steamed because it cooks faster. So we dump the cabbage. Not very chitty chatty today, am I? I have been away from making videos. Then I get quiet, I think. This red pepper, I just cut it like this just for garnish. You know me, I like to make things look pretty. A lot of people cook their noodles first and then the vegetable. I do I do things opposite because the noodles are already cooked. In my book, I don't think it needs to be cooked, a lot more. Only to get it browned and the sauce can be absorbed. Not really absorb, coated maybe. So yeah. So I should use the other side burner because that's a larger burner. But then I'd have to turn my camera more harder. Then you can't see this section. So I thought we'll do it this way. I see a little bit of here and a little bit of my half of my cooktop. Well, that's a good time. While that's cooking, I will show off my cat. Well, you know this. Molly, show your face. This is Molly. Most of you know Molly. We call her the kitchen TV. She's always hanging out in the kitchen. She doesn't go upstairs at all. Well, I shouldn't say. Every now and then she'll sneak up at night, but for the most part she stays down. And this is Precious. She's in Molly's spot. But they get along. And the other one that was hanging, trying to sniff around the food was Holton. Yes, we named him after the town. But he's a nice cat. And of course, you know, Bogey had passed away. So we do miss him. He used to always be in the background. You can see in the previous videos, he's always in the background. But Molly will just have to fill his shoes. I'm gonna dump the chicken. The chicken's already cooked. So at this point, we're just all stirring everything together and adding the noodles. And a little bit more oil. Maybe like a teaspoon. Not even that. I hope I made enough sauce. Like I said, there's no recipe. It's just equal parts soy sauce and equal parts of sugar. In my case, I use molasses. So you stir that and put double that amount of ketchup and Worcestershire sauce and oyster sauce. You gotta keep working at it so it doesn't stick. Because I don't use too much oil. Mhm. I wanted to get some padding. This is a thin pot, and it gets the handles get pretty hot. Good old chopstick is a lot better. I wonder if I put too much sauce. No, that looks good. But for those of you who's trying it for the first time, you can add the sauce a little bit at a time. But you can always add more or make more and add more, but you can't take it away. To me, Okinawan style yakisoba should always have a little bit of ketchup. I, I said equal parts of ketchup, Worcestershire, and oyster sauce, but I think it needs a little bit more ketchup. That's how we cook. You go by the color and you go by the smell and taste. I didn't taste it, but I can tell. You can tell by the color. Because the restaurant that I used to go to, the noodles were like tinted, sort of like reddish tint, coming from the ketchup and the oyster sauce. And that's it. You can add salt and pepper, which I'm not going to because I'm trying to cut back. Because my soy sauce and everything else has enough flavor. But if you feel you need to, go ahead. And you know me, instead of black pepper, I like to use crushed red pepper or hot sauce for Asian type of food. Now, if you have kids, be careful with the hot sauce, because you might want to have to put it on the table and have them put their own. And that's it. See, that didn't take long at all. Oh, I think I must have moved the camera. Oh, I hope you was able to see me stirring. So that's what it looks like. I will plate it for you. And this, I'm not sure if Sarge will eat this or not. We'll find out. But I just love this kind of dish. It's simple. It's delicious. We can put all the chicken and everything a little bit more on the top so you get to see it. Okay. And remember I said always wipe the plate. And if you have tomatoes, you can add slices of tomatoes for extra, like a extra dish, because that looks pretty too. That's it. How is that? Doesn't that look scrumptious? And that it didn't take long. It is 20, 25 minutes, I think. For me, that's, if I can do it in 25, you can do it in 20, oh, maybe 15 minutes. Because if you have everything cooked, all it is just stir frying it, you know? So, and chopping that doesn't take that long. So yeah, do try this. I think you'll, I think you'll like it. Molly says it smells good. Molly, she's like looking at me like, I'm just going up there. I normally have all the cats upstairs by this time. They after they eat, they usually go upstairs. Or if I'm making it for somebody special, I would always have the cats upstairs. I don't want to take a chance. But this is our food, for our supper for the night. And like I said, it's fast and delicious. I should taste it for you. Mm, yeah. Just like I remembered my mom making it, and at the restaurants, except I have more chicken. Of course, when you go to a restaurant, they don't put as much. But yeah, really good. Try it. See how simple it was? Now you can say, I can make Okinawan style yaki soba. So I'm going to close this by saying, God bless. And if you're in the market for pets, please adopt pets from the shelters, because I know a lot of shelters are hurting right now. They're overloaded with pets, and I I guess it's hard for them to get adopted. And usually it's the young kittens, the adorable cute ones that get adopted. And a lot of older one gets bypassed. So, and you know what happens when they get too much? They would have to. I heard in Maine they don't put them to death, but I know some states will. So keep that in mind. And if you're in the market for cats, please check out your local shelter first. So until then, God bless and be happy. Bye bye.